was, do you also then see this, how the COVID-19 got politicized? On either side, like perspective of that, like on the media and things like that, have any kind of, because I felt like there was a lot of, there's a level of, yes, we're doing the right thing, we need to, and there's a level of, hey, maybe this is just an opinion or stance, and depending on where you look and what what your model of like example is. But then you have some people who, I feel like, I need a better example to actually say this, but let's say the protest during in Melbourne before they suffered their major lockdown. I don't have enough of the facts to know that if there were any links from those actual protests that caused the lockdown. But there you go. That's something where you see this balance of everyone needs to kind of, you're on the right side if you stay away and you social distance because of COVID. But if you didn't protest for an issue that was on, you're on the wrong side. And I saw this like political landscape. I just saw it clash because of things like this.
Yeah, I think these days it's very easy to politicize a lot of these issues. I mean, for example, in Queensland with the border closures, especially between the Queensland and New South Wales borders, I thought that was a politicisation of COVID-19 by the Queensland Premier.
But you don't like it because she's Labor.
It didn't hurt that it was close to the election period, so she played the protectionist card.
Played her card
and it worked for her.
If I was her, I think I did a great job. It worked out. I got voted, right?
Yeah, they won. I think if you want to see a peak example, just look at America. That was a highly politicized COVID-19.
There's so much context I want to unravel with you in that conversation, but no, this thing we don't talk about. Yes. Like you've come over and literally I can imagine like as if we're kids and Jessie, can you come over and play with me? Like let's have these conversations. Yes, so politicized.
Yeah, much more than Australia. I think Australia, yes, we did. Especially
when's our next one coming up?
Federal election.
Yeah.
I think between 2022 and 2023. So
because I've put so much, like, not effort, but just I've been just more aware of what's going on in America because I've been at home around my computer. I make sure I wake up to the news and I'm listening to different sides, CNN, Fox, Sky, whatever. Like I want to hear what everyone has to say.
Yeah.
And then it feels like sometimes you play the game of like not wasting your time, because if you hear this 15 minutes and you hear the title, you're like, oh mate, you've got an agenda. I'm not going to waste 15 minutes hearing you try to sum up this agenda. But yeah, when that next election comes up for us, I'm going to just onto it like, it's going to be interesting. It's fascinating for me. For me, I get like, there's a level of people going, I don't want to be involved in politics, and I don't blame them, because I know that there is a stance where people go, you're an idiot. You're why aren't you taking part in this thing that decides our country? But I don't blame them, because I can imagine it gets tiring. And nowadays, today, it's so tiring.
It's everywhere. And but the thing is, in Australia, voting is compulsory.
That helps.
So it does help that it
doesn't account for donkey votes though.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want to vote for someone, make sure it's an informed choice. Because if someone you don't want gets in, who do you have to blame?
You get your results that you don't want.
Yeah,
exactly. So. And that's always. I mean, we all know that. We know that's not the rhetoric. That's just fact. Like if you're not taking your vote seriously, and then you're living this thing that you don't like, that's why. Like I mean, you'd have more issue with that than someone who votes against what you believe. At least you're doing what you believe.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's going to speak to what this country decides.
Yeah.
Mind you, go into it. Obviously, I'll ask you to tell me more about it. Being a young liberal, how do you take account for that? Sometimes, obviously, there's a lot of, and look, we'll admit the facts. I, without taking a side, noticed that yes, the Queensland Premier was doing what she did during the time, and I literally saw the domino effect for just collapse of that. She was playing to her audience, playing to her people. I saw that's politics.